Hello and welcome, friends. In this particular presentation, we wish to discuss about particulate matter in terms of its deposition down the wind when emitted through stacks, and we'll get acquainted with hood and duct design as a tool of air pollution control. We'll have some brief review of the things that are already known to you. Particulate is one of the pollutants being emitted through number of industrial as well as even in general natural processes. Particulate, if considered, are generated through number of processes. They would be having quite a huge range size wise as well as even the characteristic wise. Even their generation rates are very different. Sometimes they are allowed to move through the stack the way they originate, or otherwise they are controlled through some set of equipment, and accordingly they are separated from that particular gaseous stream so that they won't freely enter into the atmosphere. This particular thing is important in view of observing certain set of laws, certain set of pollution laws as defined by the respective countries. They have their own emission standards, and hence when certain standards need to be observed, one must see that that particular emission level won't cross than the level prescribed by that particular rule. Hence, obviously, there will be requirement of number of control equipment. As the emission standard is known, we must see that what kind of emission level there is. Based on the trend of such emissions, one can predict these particular concentrations, and this particular prediction will help us whether the values are well within the established standards. In order to determine the concentration as mass per unit time, you must have come across the expression devised based on the Gaussian distribution, and which is valid for determination of the concentrations, so to say, modeling emissions from continuous point sources of emission. But that particular approach is more valid for simply gaseous pollutants, and it is not possible to adopt it as it is for particulate emissions. Hence, some modifications are required, and that modifications we'll discuss in subsequent slides. So this is the expression that you know about for gaseous dispersion. Here C stands for certain concentration at a point having coordinates x, y, z. It is valid for effective stack height h plus certain plume rise expressed as delta h. Hence, this particular capital H is given by q by 2 pi u sigma y sigma z. Here, this q is the pollution strength of that particular source, u is wind speed, sigma y, sigma z are standard deviations or dispersion coefficients as they are called. Here, as we make use of this particular expression, we will be able to determine the concentration at a point. Here, this particular given expression is valid without reflection, since ground acts as sink for particulate. More discussion has been had related with derivation of this particular expression, application of this particular expression, and the number of changes that could be necessary by giving consideration to some actual conditions. Here, as we consider certain stack and as we think about this plume laden with particulate, if it had been simply the gaseous stream as it reaches the ground surface, it is quite likely that it will be bouncing back, it will be reflected back into the atmosphere, and from certain point onwards there will be mixture of the direct emission and reflected emission so as to have some, say, mixed condition as such. Hence, under that circumstances, it is necessary to consider the reflection. But as we consider the present circumstances, here this stream is laden with particulate. It is more dense, it has got more density. Hence, here the particulate will be getting attracted towards this particular ground surface in the immediate vicinity of this particular stack, and hence here this particular stream will slope downward towards this particular ground surface. Even as this particular particulate reaches the ground surface, because of their density, they won't reflect back and they will be deposited on the ground surface itself. Hence, here the reflection phenomena cannot be taken into account, and hence we have to consider the expression without reflection. As this particular H is valid more in the immediate vicinity or just at the top of this particular stack, but as that means the plume leaves the emitting point, it is coming downward. That means here the H plus delta H, that is capital H, the way we had considered from the origin, that is the bottom of the stack, cannot be considered as it is. Hence, this H needs to be corrected. In order to correct that H, we consider free fall distance. This free fall distance is related with time t and the settling velocity of the particulate under consideration. So, when the plume is traveling through this particular distance x in time t in downwind direction, in the same time t, it will also move in the downward direction Vt into x by u times. Hence, the expression needs to be resubstituted for the value of h as h minus Vt x by u. Here now we are considering the emission in terms of particulate, and hence here that particular say mass per unit time is considered for particulate, and that's why we consider this particular Q as Qp in this particular expression. Now we wish to determine the ground level concentration. We don't want to have the concentration in vertical as well as horizontal plane, but simply along the line of emission from a particular stack. Hence, we will consider simply x as downwind distance from a particular source, y is 0, z is 0, and now the corrected h that we consider here, and hence as we consider these particular terms, y and z made 0, we attain this form of equation. So here Qp is now particulate emission rate as gram per second, which refers to typical particle size having that terminal settling velocity Vt. Rather than evaluate the concentration C of particulate at a given location, it would be more appropriate to express the result of particulate dispersion in terms of mass deposited per unit time and unit area from that particular source. So here this we are expressing mass deposited per unit time and per unit area is expressed as mass rate of transport per unit area as W. Hence, this will be gram per meter square per second, which will be equal to mass rate of transport. It will be cubic meter per second into gram per meter cube, and it is per area, that's why multiplied by 1 by meter square. So here it is nothing but volume rate into concentration per area. So here as this meter cube is considered, and with this meter square we get simply meter per second into gram per meter cube. Hence meter per second will be nothing but velocity into concentration. Hence this W will be nothing but Vt times C. So here as this C is multiplied by Vt, we will get here mass deposited per unit time per unit area. So here we can make use of this particular expression in order to solve this problem. The problem is from Work and Warner, reference I have mentioned here. So pertaining to the data that we have, the deposition of the particulate rate at ground level along the center line of the stack can be estimated by this device expression. In this, the terminal settling velocity Vt that appears in this particular equation, it is apparent that the value of W is the deposition of a particle of a given density and mean diameter capital D. To obtain the true deposition rate from a stack, the total emission rate QP must be based on the mass fractions of individual particles that are being emitted from a particular stack. Here, for set of the given data, we will split up this particular equation for our convenience as W is equal to A e raised to minus B. We'll have this particular x defined through 200 through 5000, the way I have mentioned here. In relation with each of these, we can have the dispersion coefficients sigma y, sigma z based on the standard deviation charts as given by Turner, or otherwise we can make use of the various expressions that are given in order to devise that standard deviations, or otherwise even we can make use of various charts given for the determination of sigma y as well as sigma z. As we compute the various values of A and B based on the data that we have, we'll be able to work out e raised to minus b for each of these particular distances and values of w's respectively. As we enter the results, you will see that up to 2000 meters, here the concentration goes on slightly increasing. At 3000 it is maximum, and beyond that particular point, here it goes on further reducing. Hence, from this table, it can be seen that maximum deposition rate occurs at the distance of approximately 3 kilometers downwind from that particular stack. Now, in order to determine the maximum daily deposition, the results that is obtained is per second. As we multiply the same with a day or number of seconds per day, we'll be able to get the deposition in terms of gram per meter square as daily deposition rate. By this time, you know that there are many industrial processes dealing with various kind of boilers, combustors. There could be many foundries, metallurgies, even there could be cement industries, petroleum refineries. And they give rise to particulate in various form, maybe coal dust, fly ash, or iron oxides, dust, smoke, or there could be certain, say, metal fumes. There could be even some alkali or processed dust. There are many controls established on these kind of emissions in order to reduce the entry of the pollutants in the atmosphere. Each of these particular control means maybe cyclone, electrostatic precipitator or Venturi scrubbers, or even simply the gravitational chambers, need to handle the value of the gas along with the laden particulate. So, gas cleaning system is expected to work better if it has lesser volume of the gas and more presence of particulate in that smaller gases value. This is especially important because higher pollutant concentration leads to higher efficiency. In simpler terms, it is very easy for handling that particular smaller volume of the gas laden with particulate so as to remove that particular particulate from that gas stream. Here, as the smaller volume of that gas is to be handled, it is economical proposition. Usually, in order to establish the control of the pollutants, we go for process change, we go for change in the fuel, we think about resource relocation, or so to say, in general, we expect to follow good operation practices. But this simply means of observing good practices for plant processes is not helpful, but even the system control is also necessary. As a particular particulate emits from a source, it has its own velocity. As it reaches certain distance, as it has got small mass, it loses the momentum and it approaches to some such a point where its velocity nearly becomes zero. Such a point can be treated as null point. If at such a point, if we induce some suction and the velocity to the extent of the necessary dispersion of that particular particulate with certain factor of safety, it would be treated as control velocity. So, the control velocity is necessary to prevent that particular particulate from the controlled area under the consideration. In order to facilitate this, the rate of exhaust that is taking place should always be more than air being displaced through the various processes that are occurring at that source. This control velocity depends on size and shape of the hood as well as its relative position with respect to the source, as well as even the nature as well as quantity of that particular pollutant. In general, we can say that velocity less than 30 meter per minute at a null point can seldom be tolerated without the loss of hood's effectiveness. Let's speak just one or two sentences for this particular size and shape of the hood. Sizes can be worked out, but in general, the shape of this particular hood and ducting is usually in circular or rectangular forms. Round shape results in lower pressure drops. It conveys the air pollutants with more efficiency, as well as its surface area for given carriage capacity is less, it requires less insulation, and hence usually round shape is preferred over rectangular shapes. Sometimes the round shape, because of its inherent diameter, cannot be accommodated in the given slot, and hence sometimes the vertical height can be compromised with the balance of its lateral dimensions in form of width, so that the effective area would be arrived at in this particular rectangular form. This particular sketch depicts the airflow patterns that are existing just in front of that particular hood. Here, what you see is these particular velocity or airflow patterns are not radial. Here, as you move away along the center line from the face of that particular hood, the velocity go on decreasing rapidly. Sometimes these particular ducts are even provided with additional flanges. If that particular, say, flanges are not existing because of the draft induced to these particular ducts, the adjacent volume of the air, even though not contaminated, gets sucked, and hence it is unnecessary burden on the carriage capacity of that particular hood as well as duct. Hence, the provision of this particular, say, flange increases the effective carriage and hence also the capture of the particulate. There are a number of expressions developed for square, round, as well as the rectangular hoods and openings with various aspect ratios. Dell has given one expression for determination of this particular velocity. Here, Yx is percentage of the duct velocity at a point x on the duct axis, whereas x is distance outward along the axis from the opening in meters, and capital A is nothing but area of openings in square meters. Similarly, Himon has given one expression for square, round, as well as rectangular openings, such as QH is equal to Vx into bracket 10x square plus AH. Here it is valid for aspect ratio, width is to length equals 0.2 or more. One thing I would like to mention here, that when we consider the aspect ratio width is to length, we have to think about the dimension of that particular rectangular opening, which is lesser in size, is to be considered as its width. So here the terms that are included in this particular expression are presented here. Sometimes there could be some kind of ductings which will be having their aspect ratio, that is width to length, less than 0.2. Such sections are termed as slots. So, in order to determine the center line velocity at a point x in front of the opening is estimated for plane slot as Vx is equal to 0.27 QH by Lx, whereas if that particular slot is flange slot, we can make use of this particular expression. So, let's have a brief summary of the discussion that we had. The prediction of the deposition of the particulate is important to establish control on the emission, because ultimately we have to see that the emission is well within the emission standards. The Sutton's Gaussian distribution equation, which is essentially developed for continuous point source for gaseous emission, can be suitably modified for determination of particle concentration as well as its deposition rate. Hoods as well as ducts are reliable means to capture the particles in the immediate vicinity of their source, and hence these hoods and ducts help to reduce the particulate pollution substantially. Thank you.